Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be cooking up an ATL drill cover art. This is heavily inspired by Tyler is so epic, so shout out to him on Instagram. He makes all the baby Kia's kind of, cover arts. Also, shout out Zeke for the suggestion. Yeah, let's get straight into it. Alright, so to start off, I'm going to be using this image. Really, all you need to do to cut this out is, little button down here, select subject. You can, use that, or you could use the pen tool. Whichever floats your boat. I'm just going to use this just because it's easier. Yeah, it just does everything for you in like seconds. Alright, so once your subject has been selected, you're going to have like different, it depends on how clean your image is. So if there's like different like focus points, like this image, like you have this guy, it's going to select him as well. So you just want to hold Alt and just remove it. And if you guys don't know what tool this is the quick selection tool. It's right up here. And you just want to right click. It's going to be on the magic wand tool. Just right click, click on the quick selection tool, and you're going to get this. So it's like a brush tool but for selections, so you can make it bigger and all that. And just hold Alt or just make it normal to make it make a better selection. So for this, I don't want to actually add a selection, so I'm going to hold Alt just to get rid of it, and then we're just going to get rid of this selection here and down here. Once you have your subject actually selected, you want to go ahead and click on layer mask. This will cut it out, and it's just this little button down here called layer mask, and what that will do is it will just cut it out. And you just want to right click on the name. Don't right click here or anything, just right click on the name, and you want to go to convert to smart object, and that will just completely make it transparent. You don't have to worry about the background or anything. And I'm just going to center it here in the middle, kind of like that. Alright, so once you have that, you want to go ahead and move on to your background. For my background, I'm using a stormy sky and also a graveyard kind of scene. So for the sky, I kind of made a perspective kind of look here, just to make it kind of perspective a little bit, because usually it's kind of like a flat kind of thing. But if you just right click, go to perspective, bring the corners in, you can make this kind of sky effect. Also, just got this little background here of a graveyard. So what I'm gonna do now is just make a layer mask like I showed you guys before, and the reason why I do that is so you can actually erase some parts. So like up here, kind of want to fade it out, have it like so. And the reason I create layer masks instead of using the eraser is just because you can go back to it at any point. So you could just disable it, or you could just backspace and fill it. Really, whatever floats your boat. Now for the background, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go click on this little circle, like so. Go to gradient map, and just because it is reversed here, I'm going to click on reverse. But if it's already like this, don't even bother. Since it's reversed, I'm gonna be placing a color here. You just want to click on the tab at the bottom, and you want to place a color next, kind of close to the white, not really close to the black. So wherever that is for you, whether it's on this side or this side, just place it in the middle, I guess. And then you want to put that to blue or whatever color you guys want. I'm just gonna be using blue for this example. And we're going to be putting this to color. So once you're done with the background, you want to go ahead and focus on your subject. So for this, I'm going to actually go ahead and go to adjustments again, go to black and white, and I'm just going to hold Alt in between these layers, and this little icon is going to pop up with the arrow in the box, and you just want to click, and it will create a clipping mask. Once you have that, you want to go ahead and create a gradient map, and you want to make sure it's black and white again, and you're going to put the overlay. Now we're going to bring this down to about 60, which is a little sweet spot I find for myself. And once you have that, that's going to kind of darken the whole scene. And once you have that, you want to create a new layer. You want to do the same thing. You want to hold Alt, and you just want to click when you see the icon. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our brush tool here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our brush tool, and we're going to hold Alt and right click. And we're just gonna go side to side to kind of make it bigger or smaller, and we are going to go up here, go to opacity. We're going to bring that down a bit and bring the flow to about 20. So opacity 20, flow 20. And you want to go ahead and hold Alt again. Alt is just my favorite keybind, alright? You want to hold Alt and you want to click on the background. So it's going to be blue. You're going to get a blue color. So you want to bring your opacity to about 50 and maybe your flow to... You can mess around with these settings, whatever works. And basically what you want to do is you want to get the brush and you want to get this brush and you want to color in all the highlighted areas just so it looks a bit more realistic and just so it just looks a bit nicer when you have highlights and stuff like that. So I'm just going to be going around the edge here. When your opacity and flow are lower, you have to kind of keep going in same like stroke just to get it a bit more. Or so you want to put your flow to about 30, 20 to 30, and then your opacity to about 20 to 30 as well. You can adjust that higher or lower, but basically all you want to do is you want to make some highlights. So what you're aiming to do is kind of make some highlights around brighter areas basically, and this will give you a really nice effect in the end. So I'm just going to be going around this hairline like so. Now I have this whole adjustment folder here that I'm going to just be basing everything off of, and I'm just going to be showing you guys everything in this when we get to that point, but I'm just going to be enabling gradient map again. So what you want to do now is you want to actually create a glow, a nice little glow from. So we're going to bring the opacity and flow back up. We're going to make a new layer, and then you just want to clip it again, and then you just want to add some glows around him. So like his head, his shoulders, around here, his shoulders again, and his face. And then you just want to click, and then I'm just going to put that to screen like so. Now I'm going to add another glow here kind of in between his shoulders and his head. So we're just going to put that linear dodge there, or I might just use screen, you know, whatever looks better to you, just use that. It might be different depending on your image, so just bear that in mind when it comes to like different blend modes and things like that. Like it's all kind of you know, experimental with different images, but they are all the same. Like you can use them all. So once you have that, you want to make a layer behind him. So I'm just going to bring that up behind him, and you want to make sure your brush is kind of bigger than his head, and you want to just brush right there and then bring it down. And his shoulders, we're going to put that to screen, and we're going to do that like so. And also just going to create another clipping mask just to put here around his body. Like so. And that's basically all there is for that. We're going to be enabling some adjustments now and going over everything real quick. So this is the curves I use. So it's just basically basically this curves, all it's doing is bringing down the shadows and kind of making it pop a little bit more. The brightness and contrast, we have a little bit of brightness up and some of the contrast up as well, just to kind of create that more darker look. Vibrance, bring the vibrance down a little bit, just like 22%. Without it, it kind of just evens it out a little bit. Hue and saturation, just bring saturation up. And the reason why I have this here is because you can actually change the color of this. This is why, you know, I kind of made it predominantly blue, just so it's easier to, you know, kind of change everything really. And then vibrance here, just bring the vibrance all the way up. You can bring it down if you want. This kind of looks fire as well. I'm not gonna lie, this vibrance all the way down kind of looks fire too. But yeah, whatever you guys want to do, you can do all of that. And we also have this color fill here. This is in the adjustments. You can just go solid color, and the only difference is I went up to filter and I went to noise, add some noise, and and these are the settings I use for that. And I put that on soft light and put the fill to 31%. And that is the first part of the video done. We're going to be moving on to the actual 3D text, and yeah, let's go straight into Cinema 4D and I'll show you guys what to do. Alright, so once you're in Cinema 4D, you want to open up this pack. So I'm going to leave this in the description inside of my Discord. You guys can go in there, go to the free pack section, and it will be in there absolutely for free. But yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys how to actually create some text. So, you know, you're going to have caution in here. You're going to want to go to this text layer. You're going to make sure you're selected on the text layer and not on the bend, because, you know, you can only edit it through the text layer. So you want to put the title, or maybe even the name if you want. But I'm going to be doing an untitled because, you know, it's not titled yet. It's not a titled thing, but just for an example, okay? Now, the font I used was called Daft Punk, or Daft Font, which is inspired by the Daft Punk. So I think this is a really fire font. And what I did was I went to text band, I went to spherical, and I messed around with these scents a little bit. So I went up here, and then you want to use these kind of move tools up here to kind of navigate the place. So this will move you up, this will kind of zoom you in and out, then this will move or position it. So I'm gonna have it like right there, and you kind of have to eye it. You really have to kind of like visualize it. Just see, like, this isn't gonna be as perfect as, you know, the actual text that I did. So I'm just gonna be using the actual text I did, but I'm gonna be showing you guys how to actually do it. So you wanna have this. You can, you know, mess around with settings and things like that. So if you were to go to here, you can go to height or go to text bend, and you can mess around with the radius. You can mess around with all these settings, the height, the width. And this is the most important one, scale Z. So if you don't want it to be crazy like long, you can bring this down and kind of just mess around with it. Once you're happy with, you know, your text and everything, you want to go up here to render settings, and you want to make sure you click on this folder icon, and you want to just select a folder to save it in. So I'm just going to save it in my actual, you know, cover folder. Alright, so I'm just going to title this Untitled 1 because I already have, you know, 1 here. You can just do Untitled 1 or whatever your name is, 1. And what you want to do after that is go to the button right next to it, the play button, and then you want to render it out. And once it's done rendering, so I'm not going to let that render, but once it is rendered out, you want to go to text bend, you want to hit that, and you want to bring the scale all the way down, and you're going to have this 2D layer. And the reason why you want this is so you can actually separate them and actually kind of create something fire with it. And you want to go up to settings again. You just want to, you know, put a 2 instead of a 1, just so it renders out separately, and then click the play button. It will render out, and that's all there is to Cinema 4D. Pretty simple. So we're just going to go straight back into Photoshop, and we're going to grab these. If this happens to you, this might not happen. This happened to me because I accidentally moved my camera, but yeah, you can just like scale it up and just position it. So I'm just gonna have it like so, and I'm going to group it. I'm going to bring the group all the way down behind him. Alright, so you can scale this up, you can do whatever you want with it. I'm just going to scale it like so. Alright, so once you have that, you want to kind of separate it. You want to make a little adjustment layer here, so you want to get hue and saturation, and you just want to click colorize, and it's going to colorize it for you. You can bring the lightness up too, bring the fill up, and then you can put that, you can do linear dodge add, and that will just, you know, do that for you, kind of make it better. And then for this one, you can do like overlay, just make it darker. And right now I'm just gonna put I'm gonna put the layer underneath the hue and saturation. I'm just gonna do like some sort of glow around it, like so, just around the bottom really, and put that to like screen. Bring the fill down. Now once you have that, I'm just going to be grabbing this little earth background. I'm going to be inserting that in there. So yeah, I'm just going to be putting that in here like so. It's going to look like that. Like, I'm not really a fan of this green, I'm not going to lie, but yeah, it's going to look something like that. And I'm just gonna work with this actually a bit more. So yeah, just bring the lightness of this down. Bring the fill of this down, this earth little layer. And you can mess with this even more if you guys want. There's hella different shit you guys can do. We're also gonna add some layer styles. So you just want to double click on the layer. Go to stroke. You want to copy these settings. You want to put the fill up or the size up a little bit. Put the blend mode to overlay. Keep the color at white. And we're gonna do a little drop shadow too. Outer glow. And we're gonna bring the spread down just to have a little light glow. And you can also do an inner glow, which, you know, depending on your image, it might work, it might not. But yeah, we're just gonna keep it like so. We're gonna copy these. We're gonna right click, copy this layer style, and we're gonna paste it down here like so. And there is something kind of fucking this up. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe it's that. But yeah, that's how you create like some sort of clean ass, you know, text. You guys can obviously experiment with it even more. Try out different textures, different things like that. But yeah, next thing we're gonna do is grab some textures from Texture Labs. So I'm going to be using this, and I'm gonna bring this one all the way down behind everything. Put that there. I think that looks really nice. Also this one, really fire. Put that soft light. And then we'll put this one in too. Just to get some sort of like grunge effect. Like that. Bring the fill down. And already this is coming together even more. And then we're gonna add this. Now these are all just from Texture Labs. It's all completely free. You don't have to pay for anything. And yeah, so last thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to add his name up here. So I'm just gonna get a black brush, just make it darker. And we're gonna bring the fill down like so. We're gonna just type Baby Kia, and the font I'm gonna use is Times New Roman. And I'm just gonna do all caps too, just to make it even better. Bring the VA up, or the virtual, or the vertical, what is it called? I don't even know. But you just want to bring that up. You want to make sure it's all selected. Bring that up like so. So once you have that done, you're basically almost done. There's one little final detail, which is just to add a blur. So I'm not going to select any of these. I'm just going to select like what's under them. So just hold shift and go all the way down to the background. And you want to Control G, Control J, Control E, Control A, and Control J. Then you want to right click, convert to smart object, and boom. Now you want to go up to filter, blur gallery, and tilt shift blur. Now this is a really nice blur. Also, I'm not really a fan of the text. I just realized I'm not a fan of the text. I think that's like out of like whatever the fuck. But I'm just gonna change that really quick and get back. Alright, so I just made it a bit smaller. So we're just gonna get back straight to it. Alright, so you want to go to blur gallery, tilt shift, and alright, so it's gonna look something like this. Obviously not really blurred that much. It's gonna look like that. But what you want to do is you want to bring this circle up to the face, and this is just gonna make that the focus point. Now, if you have text up here and you don't want this to be blurred, you just have to bring this all the way up like so. And then you can just control where you want to be blurred. So if you bring this little dotted line all the way up, if you want to bring this dotted line all the way up, it's going to blur everything down here. But if you bring it down, it's going to like kind of make a faded blur. And yeah, so I really like this kind of blur. We're going to like increase it a little bit just so it's kind of blurred down here, just to give it that nice kind of focal lens effect. And yeah, that's basically all there is. The last and final step is to just get your parental advisory. And with the parental advisory, you want to make sure it is also underneath everything, just so it looks a bit more cleaner. But if you don't like that, you can bring it all the way up and you can put that to screen if it's in a dark area. If not, if it's in a lighter area, just leave it. But yeah, I'm just gonna put it a lighter color. And yeah, that's basically all there is to this video. You can, like I said, adjust this hue and saturation. But yeah, that is all there is to this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and also I have a whole store full of packs, presets, adjustment presets, everything like that. If you guys do want to go ahead and check it out, I'll leave a link down below. And yeah, peace.